Hi everyone, my name is Kretz and today I want to tell you about one Canon malfunction, or a production flaw, as I think of what it is, that I've never met before. It's a very weird thing, very, strange thing. But as I found out, this could be found in different cameras, in totally different cameras, cheap, expensive, old, new, DSLRs, mirrorless. So this is a serious problem. And you better beware of it, and so this is what I'm gonna tell you today. And if you are impatient, then just tap or click on the time code under the video and you'll just get to the moment where I actually show the problem on the screen. But as of right now, I want to tell you the full story right from the beginning. And first, I'm a reviewer with experience of many years, and a few dozens of cameras passed through my hands over the years. All kinds of, starting from the beginner level to professional, and I've never seen this problem, not a single time, in any camera, new, used, and all the types. But the story begins with me finally switching from DSLRs to mirrorless cameras last year, and I purchased this Canon EOS R instead of my 6D Mark II. But even in my DSLR times, I actually not rarely used two cameras. I have 5D Mark III as well. I'm selling it right now because I have this R and this RP on which we're shooting this video. So I'm switching, and this has been my main camera for the last year, and I'm aiming at R6 Mark II. But it's not common for me to need even more cameras, and I've been thinking for quite a long time. I've been thinking of purchasing the Canon EOS RP. It's a very basic camera, right? It's kind of like the beginner level camera, but it is the cheapest Canon full-frame mirrorless camera to date. And it accepts all kinds of lenses, everything from the DSLR world with the adapter and of course the new RF and RFS lenses. They all fit, and so it's great. And I primarily bought this RP on which we're shooting, by the way, again, as a backup camera before I buy R6 Mark II, and as a video camera, or as a streaming camera for my, say, studio. I have apartment, I have studio, and I better leave one of my simple cameras like RP, say, here at my studio for streaming, not carrying it all the time with me. So, and I've been looking over the web from time to time, seeing RPs being sold, and I've never chased it really, but I just was looking at my favorite sites if anyone sells RP. And I live in a small town, a small and restricted town, so it's very rare that someone sells something that you really need in your small restricted town, right? So, but then I bumped into this ad by a local girl who was selling like RP in a full bag with the original box and stuff. And it's been in very good condition and with two native original batteries, which I really value. Native batteries are great comparing to the third party. So I met this girl and I wanted to purchase her RP, and the RP was like in a perfect condition, like almost like brand new, not a single scratch or something. It's in perfect condition basically. And we've talked with the girl, and she said that she uses her equipment very carefully, and so I could judge it myself. The camera is in very good shape. And I've checked everything, the buttons, the dials, the sensor, the touch screen. It all was perfectly fine, and it was working without any fault. But I immediately noticed that there's something wrong with the autofocus. There's no autofocus under the shutter button. But being a Canon expert, as I could humbly say, I realized that this must be just reassigned from the shutter button. The half press, which is the autofocus by default, was probably reassigned to the AF on button here on the back of any serious camera. So it's probably just the back button focus technique. And so I asked the girl, what's wrong with the autofocus? Do you use the back button focus? And she said, yeah, I just reassigned it the day I bought the camera. So, and I said, all right, I know about it. I know about this function. I'll reassign back if I need. So it's okay. The camera works. I'm just, I'm buying it. So I bought the camera and then I returned back home. And for the next 24 hours I've been, playing around, just toying with the camera and experimenting with all kinds of lenses that I have. So it was all good. The Canon RP worked just perfectly fine. But even with the reassignment of the buttons and stuff and different techniques, I realized that there is no autofocus on the half press of the shutter button, But instead of that, the camera takes pictures with the half press, You just half press and kind of like the autofocus and the shutter release works at the same time. But that was the problem, and I told about that problem to the girl, and she asked, I never knew about that. And my town is small and restricted, so it is very unlikely that the girl would lie to me, because if I say she's a liar, then 2 days after that all the town will know that she's a liar and no one is gonna deal with her since then. So that's the first argument. But then she said, well, if it's really faulty, then I'm ready to take the camera back and give you back your money, or share with you the cost of the repair. So there was just an honest answer, so the girl was honest, and I seriously doubt that she knew about that fault. So she said that like Malfunction, she never knew about that because she reassigned the half shutter autofocus to back button AF on button, and she never noticed any problems with that. But enough talking about the theory. Let me show how it all actually works and how it should properly work and what's exactly the problem. But now we are shooting on the RP right now, right? So how do you know what's the problem? I'll show you on the Canon EOS R here how it's gonna work in a proper way, like really actually normally functioning camera. And for that I'm just waking up my camera, and by the way, I have a very nice funny device here with which I'm shooting the video right now, and I can like input two cameras at the same time. So, and I can literally just switch with the push of a button on this device here. So this is my second camera, which is the screen recording from my EOS R here. So you hear right on, that's the device. Right on this device I can easily switch and make picture-in-picture like this. That's what we actually need. So if you're interested in this device, and it can do all kinds of things, including, you see, the audio here and the different switches, different and even different positions of the picture-in-picture. Alright, enough. Let's go with this. So I'm taking my camera, you see, that's the normal operation. I go to the menu, one point, central point, one shot, okay. And I'm pressing the shutter button halfway down. It grabs the focus, it beeps, it flashes the green square on the screen, like this. Then I press all the way, and the picture is taken. Alright, so playback. Here's our picture, my cats collection here. Alright, so that's normal operation. Okay, let me switch to the servo mode here. I've assigned the button to do that. So here's the servo. So this is the half press, and it continues to track with this square, right? I can move, then it's refocusing all the time, and then I can take picture with the full press of a button. This is the normal operation. Then I can switch, say, to tracking subjects like this. The same thing. Just half press, it grabs autofocus, and it tries to continue to track what I grabbed, right? So, and I just, take picture whenever I want. And this is the picture, right? And this is the totally normal operation for a regular camera. And by the way, I searched through the internet and I found out the answer by the Canon official that says there is no way, there is no camera in the no Canon camera in the world which does not have the shutter release at full press, if not reassigned, and which has shutter release at half press. Canon never does that. It can never happen. There are no Canon cameras that have shutter release at a half press. But let me now switch the cameras with RP and show you what's going on in my RP. So here I am basically with the same settings, hopefully, but we're shooting now with R, and RP is right here as a second camera. So I wake it up, and so here's my RP. with pretty much the same settings, you know, basic one shot, single point, but look what's happening. I'm trying to press it, the shutter button half the way as accurately as I can, and slowly. And that was just half a shutter, and it immediately takes picture, and I hadn't even pressed it all the way. But then, if I press it all the way now, I'm pressing, nothing's happening. So it's just the autofocus and shutter release at the same time, immediately. No matter how slowly I press the button, and I've tried it over and over again. So now if I switch to, say, server, same thing. I press it half the way, it immediately takes picture. And if I continue to hold the button, yes, it's tracking. But if I want to take a picture and I press the button all the way down, right here, right now, nothing's happening. It does not release the shutter. So if I release the button all the way and then press it, then it immediately it autofocuses and releases the shutter at the same time. So that's the real faulty state, and nothing can change it. Even say if I switch, I told you can reassign, and to do that you go to this menu, to these customized camera buttons. You can find it on the menu if you like, but I prefer to do it from here, 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 and then I can reassign it and get rid of the autofocus like this, just leave it for metering only, and then I can go with the back button focus here on the back of the screen. Now, here. On the back of the screen, the back of the camera, there's AF on button. And now, if I hold the AF on button, it is tracking, right? Just as previously. And when I want to take a shot, I just press the button half the way. And it's taking the shot. It's not all the way, you see? So, that's weird. And okay, tracking the subject, the same thing. I can track it, I can press the half shutter, and it takes the picture. So it never releases the shutter on a full press, but it releases it on a half press, and that's obviously a malfunction, and it cannot be changed via any menu point. And the button seems to be physically alright, because you know the camera is actually in a very good condition. As I've told you, it's just perfectly fine, like, you know, like brand new. No problems with it whatsoever. But it looks to me like it's kind of like a programming problem, maybe software program, like a production fault. So the half shutter press is programmed to release the shutter instead of the full press. Or maybe the full press is not programmed at all, as it seems to be, but the autofocus and shutter release are programmed on the software level to the half shutter. So I don't know, this is the problem. And as I've told you, I searched through the internet and I found several other instances of the same problem, and one of the guys told that he had the same problem on 760D. This is a rather old camera, it is DSLR, it is APS-C format sensor, not full frame like this. So it's a different class of the camera, it's cheaper, it's lower class camera. And I found the other continues to turn this. And so the other guy told on the internet that he purchased two Canon R5 Mark IIs. So Canon R5 Mark II is one of the most recent and one of the most expensive cameras out there, at least in the Canon world. And so he bought two items, and one was absolutely normal, like I showed you previously, and the one was faulty, like this RP here. So it can really happen to old cheap DSLRs, to the most expensive contemporary full frame mirrorless, or this mid-range, or you know, full frame, it's a lower class, but in absolute terms of prices, this is the mid-range. So it can happen to any camera whatsoever, and you just need to be aware of. That's why I'm telling you this. But now, what to do with that? Well, to be honest, I don't know, and I want to bring this camera to my acquaintance to an old man who's been repairing my cameras and lenses from time to time when I need it for several years now. It's the guy who I trust, and I want to bring camera to him, but as of right now he's sick. He just got ill and he's not working, and so when he gets better I'll definitely bring the camera to him. And if you know what's going to come out of this, and if you know want the result, just please leave a comment down below if you're interested what's going to happen next. So I'll ask him if it's possible to, say, reprogram this button to function normally, or in extreme case it may be even needed to, you know, change, to replace the button. And as far as I know, this piece is replaced as the whole unit, the button, this is the shutter button, the multi-function button, and the top dial as well. I believe this is the whole unit to be replaced, so that's a sad story, but it may come to this. So I just want to know you that this can happen, and I believe this is the production fault right from the start. So when you purchase the camera, you better check this beforehand, right when you get the camera into your hands. So that's what I wanted to tell you. It's like, you know, a little bit of messed up video, but I just want to tell you and show you this malfunction before I bring the camera to the repair shop. And as usual, leave comments down below, press like to this video, and consider subscribing to this channel if you know what's going to happen to this camera later. Paul Kretz was here with you, so I'll see you in the next video. Or maybe not. It's up to you.